welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to act as your official referee to demystify the ultimate kitchen countertop showdown, the air fryer versus the microwave. I mean, we've all been there, right? Just staring at our kitchen counters, wondering which of these magical little boxes actually deserves our hard-earned cash, not to mention that highly coveted counter space. Well, today, we're settling the debate once and for all with cold, hard facts.
So here's a quick look at our game plan. We're going to cover the science of cooking, speed, taste, and texture, costs and energy use, health and nutrition facts, and finally, we'll help you find your absolute perfect match.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the science of cooking. Let's look at how these machines actually heat up your food.
Okay, so the core difference really just comes down to how they generate heat. When you hit start on a microwave, it generates electromagnetic radiation that specifically targets the water molecules inside your food, causing them to vibrate super rapidly. That vibration creates friction, and friction creates heat. It's honestly an incredibly efficient way to heat food from the inside out. But on the flip side, the air fryer is completely different. It relies on high-powered convection. Basically, a heating element warms the air, often up to like 400 degrees Fahrenheit, and a really powerful fan whips that hot air all around your food. So think of it this way. Microwaves act like water vibrators for lightning-fast internal heat, while air fryers act more like souped-up mini-ovens that focus on stripping moisture from the exterior.
And this fundamental difference brings us to the absolute holy grail of cooking, the Maillard reaction. It's the magical chemical process that gives a seared steak its crust and roasted vegetables their really deep, complex flavor. Because an air fryer blasts the outside of your food with intense, dry, circulating heat, it triggers this reaction perfectly. It explains exactly why an air fryer gives you that beautiful golden brown finish, but a microwave, well, because it relies only on vibrating water molecules, it produces basically zero dry heat on the surface, which is exactly why microwaved food is usually left looking completely pale.
Moving right along to Section 2, speed, taste, and texture. Let's see how all this science builds into real-world results.
Let's consider the universal dilemma of leftover pizza. It highlights perfectly where dry convection heat completely obliterates internal moisture vibration. I mean, if you throw a slice of pizza in the microwave, those water molecules vibrate and they turn the crust into a chewy, soggy, droopy mess. Gross, right? But if you pop that same slice into an air fryer, the circulating hot air drives away the surface moisture, completely restoring the original crunch of the crust while perfectly melting the cheese. It is literally a night and day difference in texture.
As the experts put it, microwaves make food hot, but often soggy or rubbery. So if you're craving a crispy bite of frozen French fries, mozzarella sticks, or breaded chicken, the microwave is just simply not the right tool for the job. You will get hot mush, period. The air fryer actually exists specifically to solve this exact texture problem.
All right, Section 3, costs and energy use. Let's dive into what happens to your electricity bill.
Let's look at the raw data for reheating a typical meal. And wow, the difference is massive. Reheating leftovers in an air fryer takes about 10 minutes and uses roughly 0.23 kilowatt hours. A microwave accomplishes that exact same heating task in just 2 minutes using only 0.033 kilowatt hours. The microwave is just incredibly efficient purely because it gets the job done so much faster. So even though both machines might draw a similar amount of raw wattage, the microwave's runtime is just a tiny fraction of the air fryer's.
And, over time, that energy gap really starts to add up. Depending on your local electricity rates, daily half-hour use of a 1400-watt air fryer can run up to around 87 pounds, or roughly $110 a year on your utility bill. Because a microwave is generally only run for a couple of minutes at a time, it costs just a tiny fraction of that amount annually.
But hey, we have to judge them fairly based on what they are actually replacing in your kitchen routine, right? The microwave easily wins the quick sprint for identical reheating tasks. But the air fryer is vastly more energy efficient than firing up your entire conventional, full-sized electric oven just to roast some veggies or bake 2 little portions of salmon. So if your air fryer is keeping your big oven off, it's actually saving you massive amounts of energy in the long run.
Okay, Section 4, health and nutrition facts. It's time to strip away some of the myths.
The truth of the matter is, neither appliance is inherently unhealthy. Air fryers are fantastic because they drastically cut down on the oil needed for a fried texture, which obviously slashes your fat intake. Microwaves, on the other hand, are actually total champions at preserving water-soluble vitamins in your vegetables because of their incredibly short cook times. And seriously, let's bust a stubborn myth right now.
Microwaves do not make your food radioactive. The electromagnetic waves they use are non-ionizing, meaning they absolutely do not damage your DNA.
Now, we also need to talk about this specific compound, acrylamide. This is a huge focal point for health-conscious cooks who are analyzing high-heat browning methods. Basically, acrylamide is a chemical compound that can form in starchy foods, think potatoes or bread, when they're cooked at high temperatures for extended periods of time.
And here is the surprising part. While an air fryer can slash acrylamide formation by a massive 90% compared to traditional deep frying, some studies show a microwave produces even less of it. Why? Well, because the microwave doesn't brown the food at all, and acrylamide formation thrives on the browning process. But remember, the practical takeaway here isn't to be terrified of the appliance, it's just to avoid excessively burning or over-browning your food regardless of how you choose to cook it.
All right, our final round, Section 5, Finding Your Perfect Match. Let's figure out which one actually belongs in your kitchen.
So, as we can see, these machines aren't actually fighting for the same job at all. The microwave is your undisputed king of liquids. You want to heat up soup, defrost a block of meat, make your morning oatmeal, or steam some broccoli? The microwave handles it in minutes. But on the flip side, the air fryer reigns supreme for frozen foods, bringing leftover pizza back from the dead, roasting veggies to perfection, or baking small batches. They are highly specialized tools for entirely different culinary tasks.
Which naturally leads us to the absolute most common question for anyone trying to save counter space, or maybe someone moving into a smaller apartment. Do you really need both? Can you just buy an air fryer and toss the microwave to the curb?
The scientific reality is simply no. You really cannot replace one with the other. An air fryer just cannot boil water for your oatmeal, it can't melt a stick of butter without making a massive mess, and it won't quickly heat up your mug of coffee. And a microwave will absolutely never give you a satisfying crunch on a chicken wing. The end result of using these two appliances is just genuinely fundamentally different.
You really have to think about how you actually cook during a stressful week, not just your aspirational perfect world cooking goals. Busy families who need to get a meal on the table in 90 seconds flat between school drop-offs and soccer practice, they are going to thrive with a microwave. It is the backbone of fast family cooking. But health-conscious meal preppers, or folks trying to cut calories without giving up the joy of crispy textures, they will absolutely thrive with an air fryer.
Ultimately, a well-equipped kitchen truly benefits from having both tools working as a team. Just imagine batch cooking crispy proteins in the air fryer on Sunday and then using the speed of the microwave to perfectly reheat those exact portions on a super busy Wednesday. They complement each other flawlessly.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with this final thought to guide your next kitchen purchase. Instead of asking which appliance is objectively better, look at your own weekly routine and ask yourself, which task are you actually trying to accomplish right now, and do you have the right tool for the job? Because once you figure that out, you'll never have to suffer through a soggy French fry or a cold bowl of soup ever again. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer.